Just a little side note before you begin this new episode of the new podcast we're premiering. I did just want to say there are some pretty bad technical difficulties throughout, so just bear with us. We kept going. None of them last too long, but there are several throughout. So I just wanted to let you know ahead of time so you don't hear a bunch of crackling during the episode and you're like, oh, this is garbage and obviously done, and leave. Give us a chance. I promise this is just a first episode thing because we were recording on a different microphone than usual for Jesse. It will get into the swing of things by definitely the second episode. So, with that said, you have your warning. Now enjoy and let's go.
The Brotato podcast.
I was not expecting you to start out. Okay, but yeah, this is our new podcast. If you're listening to this, there's a good chance you're listening to it on Nerdy Geek Talk right now. This podcast will only be on Nerdy Geek Talk for probably like the first 3 or so episodes as free advertising until we move to our own podcast feed, specifically just for this podcast. It'll have its own feed just for us because it's not really nerdy geeky, though it probably will be sometimes. But so yeah, that's that. If you're surprised by this, yes, it's a new project, but it's going to be moving elsewhere. We're on Nerdy Geek Talk for free advertising. If you're just going back and listening to this on the actual Brotato's feed, then you can ignore everything that we say in this entire episode, or so far in this entire episode, or this entire episode. You can choose. It's up to you.
No.
Aw, dang. Oh, but I guess I should should I introduce you and you introduce me? The listeners will know who I am.
The person speaking right before me is Jesse Crownover.
That is a lie. Don't spread lies.
The person speaking right before me was Eric Crownover.
Good job. And
Second charm.
And the person I almost called you a peason. What's a peason? The peason that spoke right before me is Jesse Crownover, who you may recognize if you're a long-time Nerdy Geek Talk listener, because he did help found Nerdy Geek Talk, but...
You gonna have the video on the podcast, like on when you upload it, or no?
No.
Okay.
Videos work. Audio is less work. So...
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
audio.
Yeah, making sure if I was like, so I didn't like show anything and be like, look at this, and then...
Look at this bloody knife I have. It's not for murdering anyone. It's because I poured blood on a knife, and I didn't know it was going to be on video evidence.
Where'd you get the blood?
I got this blood that I put on a knife, and I didn't know it was going to be here for video evidence.
But where'd you get the blood?
Anyways, a
lot of finger pricks.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. So if you aren't aware, both Jesse and I are type 1 diabetics, so that may come up.
Eric's a fake diabetic, though.
Yeah, Jesse likes to mock me that I'm a fake diabetic, but my blood sugar's higher than yours right now, so ha! This is diabetes competition. That's not a competition. Don't try to make your blood sugar go high if you're a diabetic. That's not good advice at all. We should have diabetes Olympics. Anyways, so yeah, if you hear us making diabetes jokes at each other, it's because both of us are. But it's his fault because I caught his diabetes. Just kidding again, that's not how diabetes works.
Well, I caught someone in my grades diabetes, so it's okay.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Because we made jokes about it before I was diabetic in 8th grade.
Yeah, the first thing I said to Jesse whenever he came into the hospital after I was diagnosed was, I caught your diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways, today we have a multitude of questions to talk about. If you aren't aware, Jesse, in his absence from Nerdy Geek Talk because he sucks, has been...
We should devote like a whole episode to explaining where I went after Nerdy Geek Talk, or like why I'm not on Nerdy Geek Talk anymore. Nah, that doesn't need to be a whole episode.
I was gonna say, that's not a whole episode. It'd just be like, sometimes he makes music, and also he's lazy.
That could be a topic for a Brotato's like video.
Oh yeah. Oh, so also if you're listening to this
podcast,
first of all,
we should explain yeah, I want to explain why I didn't upload and like what's going on with the
Yeah,
Brotato's channel right now.
you don't get to justify yourself. Okay, you can justify yourself.
Yeah, okay, so obviously I'm going to be punished, and Eric still has a punishment because his video is too long. I didn't get uploaded because I don't remember. I don't remember what I had going on Tuesday. There's definitely pit practice. What else was going on? I don't know. I'm insanely busy, and then I couldn't upload it like a day late because then I had honors choir stuff literally like in the evening, and then like the whole day, the next 2 days,
Basically,
which
he's a
was
nerd.
it was insanely busy. But oh, I had pit rehearsal and then I worked on Tuesday, so I literally wasn't home all day. And then so far at least we haven't been planning our or like recording our videos or planning our videos ahead of time. Neither of us have. So
That may
if
be a
we don't
thing
have
we
time the
start to
night,
do.
yeah, because if we don't have time the night of, then they're either too long or they uh,
Yeah, I was gonna say
don't get uploaded.
may change that. My video is going to be late, but I'm not gonna be punished for that because I already have a punishment, and
Yeah, he
because
already has a
I asked
punishment.
permission. So, but yeah, also
He
if
has
you're
permission,
listening to
and I
this,
had to
if you're
give him
not
a
aware,
subject anyway.
jeez, we both we both talked and then hesitated and then both talked again. Anyways, if you're listening to this and you aren't aware of what we're talking about, it's actually the name of the Brotatoes was for our YouTube channel first, and now we're doing podcasts, so we're doing both those things. The
Yeah,
podcast
have
will
you
be
mentioned
available.
potatoes on Nerdy Geek Talk yet?
Yes, I have. I also
Like,
plugged it on Radio Free Cybertron when I was on this week, which
that's
gained
cool.
us like almost double our subscribers.
Did they link it, or did you just mention it?
I linked it in the chat. So for the live stream audience, but I mentioned it for the. I think I mentioned it on the show for the like podcast listeners and stuff. But anyways, yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't know what the YouTube channel is, go find it. I find the best way. So basically, instead of writing PO for potatoes, put BRO, bro, potatoes. If you just search that in YouTube, right now we're so small that you won't find the channel. But if you type in Brotatoes Purple, you will find my video called Purple, and then you can get to the channel. That's the easiest way I found so far.
Or rules of the potatoes?
Oh yeah, which is our most viewed episode right now. I say episode, but it's really a video. It's not an episode.
Or potatoes comedy? Or potatoes candy? Ain't that sweet?
Well, there was another Brotatoes like comedy skit channel.
Oh yeah, potatoes comedy. I don't think will come up.
Yeah, so don't type in Brotatoes comedy. But basically, there's ways to
Or
find it.
do it and
Also,
scroll down a lot.
we'll link it in the descriptions to wherever you're listening to this, so you can do it that way too. But anyways, the reason you haven't been on Nerdy Geek Talk mainly is because you suck and you're lazy, but also because you've been moving into more music stuff. So I have some like entertainment slash several a decent amount of music related questions for us to discuss. So first off is what is the most beautiful song you have heard?
Most beautiful?
Yeah.
That's a good question, and I'll answer that in a second. My blood sugar is actually a little low, and I need to go grab glucose
We should
tabs.
just transfuse our blood right now. And then you'd get higher and I'd get lower.
Yeah, I think that would.
Now there's just clicking. Okay, it's gone now.
That was from my chair.
Oh. Tell your chair to shut up. Oh,
Dude,
but
shut
I'll
up.
answer the question first while you sugar yourself up. Anyways, I think the most beautiful song. I honestly I might like. If I was given a lot more time to think about it, because I also didn't look at these questions. Like I didn't prepare answers for these questions either, so to be fair, so we're both thinking on the spot. Um, the one off the top of my head, I would say, is Purple Rain, probably. Uh, it's super long and it just keeps going on. What are you doing? Did you put your microphone on your pants again? I think you muted yourself. Oh no, I can't understand him. What has happened? This is going poorly now. I can't hear you. I hear crackling. What the heck?
Is it still crackling?
No, now it's fixed. What did you do?
This microphone, the cord doesn't plug in very well.
Okay. I was gonna guess that might be it. Uh, anyways, let's keep rolling. I would say Purple Rain because it's just so artistic of a song, I think. And while it does have it has good lyrics and stuff, but there's long periods of no words at all and just continuous talking. You're still crackling. Maybe you should hold it by the cord, or like at the base where the cord goes in, or something.
So not crackling now?
Not crackling now. But whenever you put it to the side, it crackles.
Well, I was just holding it away because I was chewing my glucose tabs.
Huh.
Am I not crack? Am I still good?
Yeah, you're still good now.
Okay, if I crackle again, I'll change something. But for now, I think I'll be okay.
Technical difficulties. We're just working through it. It's the first episode. You can deal with it, people. But yeah, Purple Rain, all the long periods of just really good, guitar soloing, all that. Like it's just I don't know. I've listened to the song so many times and I know most of it, but it also sounds like it's going to end multiple times before it ends. Not in a bad way though. It's not like, dang it, the song should have ended. It's more like, oh, it's gonna end. Oh no, there's more. But like, I just really, really do like that song. I think it's really beautiful, even though it's probably not what most people would say whenever they think of a beautiful song. But I think that would be my answer, at least for now. Again, given more time, I could probably think of something else too. But Jesse, what is yours?
Um. Okay. Um. Well, my answer might be "Sleep" by Eric Whitacre, but that is a piece like for band, so most people probably won't know it.
I know that.
So I also have another answer though. Definitely listen to that song though. It was
Choir.
originally yeah for choir, and then it was also like I've played it in band and it's insanely cool. But an answer people still won't know this song, but it's a more like normal radio kind of song. Vori Vlaga Skovi.
Oh my god, that's what I was literally about to add as a runner up. I was literally going to say it, but also
Did I say
Kalea. Yeah, I Vori Vaglaskov, I think. I'm not sure.
something like that? It's Icelandic.
Yeah, it's the only song on Kaleo's album that is completely Icelandic. They are Icelandic, but their album is in English, with the exception of that song, which is a very, very pretty song.
It is.
Though you kind of lied, it's not a radio song. It doesn't get played on the radio.
Hasn't gotten played on the radio song. I just didn't want to say like regular song, but like
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, the album is called A/B,
hmm
and it's by Kaleo, Kaleo. One of my favorite bands ever, and possibly my favorite album ever.
yeah,
Uh,
I think it's up there. It's in my top 3. I think it's my number 1.
yeah, same. Like if it isn't number one, it's almost certainly number two. But I'm thinking my other ones. Yeah, it's definitely it's number one. So if you haven't listened to that, it's so good. Go listen to it. I really want them to make another album. They still haven't.
They're just touring for like 10
Yeah,
years.
they've toured for so many years just off that album, which at the same time, I can't blame them because it's such good music and they're still making money off of that music. So, like, it makes sense. But at the same time, although I do follow their Twitter account and I get notified whenever because they always tweet out whenever they're at a place, they they've slowed down significantly. Like, I haven't heard from them in a while. So I'm kind of wondering if they're working on something.
I hope so.
Which
Other
also,
two albums in your top three.
what are my other two?
Mm-hmm. In top three albums.
Uh, I wish there was an album for Make Happy. No, I would put What? Make Happy is a special by Bo Burnham. He's a comedian. What would also be up there. Specifically the album, not the 1 hour special, because the album has the 1 hour special and several studio songs, some of which are in the show, majority of which are not. I really like all of them, but that's an actual album. So what with a period at the end, and then it's really hard to pick a third one. Uh, hmm. I don't know. Give me here. Do you have your three?
So I can say my other two. I think A/B by Kaleo is my number one because they're not my favorite band of all time.
Mm-hmm.
They're there, but like that's my favorite album of all time. I think number two is the White Album by Weezer. It's either number two or number three, and then I think number three. No, I'm switching them. Number two is Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. Number three is White Album by Weezer.
I'm gonna give two for my number three spot, which is cheating, I know, but I have a tie. It would be Deep Dark Fantasy by Kanye West. I think that's the name of it. Uh, that's his best album. I've recently started. No, it's my Beautiful Dark Fantasy. I think. No, my beautiful. Jeez, I'm so confused. I've listened to the album, but I rarely look at it. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Anyways, that would be one of them. The other one would be To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. Both of those scratch a similar itch. But yeah, as I mentioned, I've recently become a Kanye fan. I was not previously, just because I'm not the biggest fan of Kanye as a person, but he is very good at what he does. And going back and listening to some of his stuff, I like a lot of his albums, but that one in particular is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is really, really good. And again, this is as an album, not necessarily what albums have my favorite song. So those two.
I'm okay with you giving two for number three because I was gonna ask what your other two were gonna be if you didn't count Bo Burnham's. Just because I know it's almost all music, but it's still technically like a comedy special album.
Yeah.
Um, my fun fact: my favorite band is not in my top three albums. It's not in any of my top albums because I don't listen to their albums specifically. I just listen to all their stuff.
What were your albums again? You said the White Album by Weezer, A.B. by Kaleo, and Daft Punk. Which
And
Daft Punk is it? Just
Random Access Memories, their latest album.
how old is that album? They haven't made an album in a while.
I think it's 3 years old,
Yeah.
at least.
At least 2015. Oh no, I'm pretty sure it's 2015. So that'd be 4 years now, wouldn't it? I think it's 2015.
Favorite band though is Driftless Pony Club.
Oh my goodness,
They're
it's
the
not 2015. It's 2013. It's been 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
Daft Punk, you need to make an album.
That makes sense though.
No.
Yeah,
Okay, so I will actually, because To Pimp a Butterfly and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy scratch the same itch. You could replace either one of them. If I had to take out Bo Burnham, I would actually put in, I think, True by Avicii.
Mm-hmm.
I really do love Avicii. That's a very good album. I am still very upset that he died. Because, man, the guy was a musical genius.
True by Avicii or True by Avicii by Avicii?
No, not the remix. I do like the remix, and I also like several. I really do like Stories too, but
Mm-hmm.
and his
True,
other
the
stuff.
first album is the best, but his
Yeah.
remixes were amazing. I like the remix album still better than Stories, but I just didn't love Stories, but it's still a good album.
Really? That
Mm.
Huh, I found that interesting. Also, the last
Guys,
thing he
some
ever
of the
did, because
songs,
people were insisting that he
like,
finished making music before he died, which is a lie. He released an EP almost immediately before he died. Uh, Not immediately. It was like a couple months beforehand. Shoot, what was it called? Do you know?
No.
Oh, it's just called Avicii and then in parentheses '01 EP, which is a good EP. It's not. I wouldn't put it above his other albums, but he's also done like Feeling Good. Levels was where he mainly got to start. Yeah, Stories I really do like though. Like looking, yeah. So I like his stuff. I really wish there was more of it, and it makes me sad that there isn't going to be more of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but so yeah, that that wasn't even the next question. But anyways, the next question is what song gets
The
you
next song.
pumped? The next song. Well, it is a song. Is the answer. What song gets you pumped every time it comes on?
Probably Riot by Hollywood Undead.
That's a good one. Uh,
I am not a proud fan of Hollywood Undead, but I am a fan of Hollywood Undead, although their newest album was not very good.
Guilty pleasure type thing.
Riot, well, I mean, yeah, like I'm just not like a huge fan of like Hollywood Undead, like and their aesthetic and stuff. Like they're just fine. They used to be cooler and better, but their music I like. But their new album just wasn't very good. Although Riot is off that album, and that's one of the really, really good songs. But that's one of the only really, really good ones on that album.
Um, this is a hard one because I have like a bunch of songs that fit this, but I would probably put it might be Brooklyn. Brooklyn's like a really pump up song for me by Youngblood Brass Band.
Yeah.
What's Up Danger is another good one. That's more recent though,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I don't want to
Oh,
say it's like the top one, but
I like Start a Riot too.
hmm um,
Also from Spider-Verse album.
also Say Amen, which is also in parentheses Saturday Night by Panic at the Disco, who is also someone I've recently started getting into. That's a really good one. And then last but not least, I'd say Head First Slide in Cooperstown on a Bad Bet. That would probably be number one.
Mm-hmm.
I love that song.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Oh, there you are.
Okay.
I can now.
Also, shout out to Bonfire by Childish Gambino. That's a really good one. That's a really, really good one. Have you listened to Childish Gambino?
A little bit.
Also, I would like to say that that could be not that, not Bonfire. Redbone by Childish Gambino could also be a. It would never be the number one, but in the list of most beautiful songs because it almost sounds like a love letter to Prince, and Prince is one of the artists I'm obsessed with. And I absolutely do love Childish Gambino, so it's like take two things I like and just make this really cool thing that is honestly like it's art. So that'd be one. Next one is actually not a song. This is what's your favorite movie or show that most people haven't heard about?
Movie or show?
That most people have not heard about. Baby Driver isn't one that would it's
No,
not.
not at
Yeah, I was
all.
gonna say it's not like a huge thing, but it is
Because
definitely not.
I was gonna almost say Scott Pilgrim, but I still think that's too big to say.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people haven't seen it, but a lot of people have heard of it.
Uh-huh. This is kind of a tough one.
Um,
I like a lot of pop culture stuff, so I like stuff that people know. Not necessarily that they're into, but they know of.
I like some obscure movies I found on Netflix. Um, there's a really good one called The Fundamentals of Caring that was actually a Netflix original that has Paul Rudd in it and Selena Gomez. And it's really good. A hilarious one that was also really good is called Sleeping with Other People. It was a really good movie. Like it's not a comedy, but it's funny, and it has a lot of. It's a good movie. I really like it. But and then one other one is The Spectacular Now, I don't know if that was a Netflix original or not. I don't think it was, but it's on Netflix, and that it has Miles Teller in it, and
Hmm.
it's a good.
My favorite movie that most people haven't heard about is actually a small film known as Solo: A Star Wars Story. I thought it was pretty good. Uh,
Ha 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 ha.
in all fairness, compared to the other Star Wars movies, it falls under that category. But I'm struggling with this. Again, I don't like things that are the most popular, like as in majority of people like
Mm-hmm.
watch of or know, but like the majority of stuff that I do like is known. So this is really
Because you're a
hard.
loser.
No,
Mm-hmm.
this is it's like bothering me because I know that there's some things that I like of, but I can't. I like of things. There's some things that I like that a lot of people don't know of, but like I can't think of anything right now. I would can I
What?
like okay, so this technically it's not a movie or a show really, but it could it could be under because most people haven't heard about it, so I'm at least going to say it as a filler. Would be like different comedy specials. There's several that I really like. Tambourine by Chris Rock is a good one. But also my favorite one, which even less people have probably heard of, because if less people have heard of Bo Burnham than Chris Rock, would be Make Happy, which again I know isn't unpopular, but it is not known by most people. So I'm gonna put that for now. Also, Michael Shea Matters is a good one. A lot of people know who Michael Shea is, but a lot of people don't know that he has actual stand-up routine.
I'm the
Um,
one who told you about that.
no, you aren't. I found it.
Michael Che Matters?
Yeah, I listened a
I
while
thought
ago.
I told. Well, I must have mentioned it to you, and then you had already seen it.
Yeah. Uh, I think that's actually what happened because I think I remember mentioning to you that I watched it and you also had seen it. Because it was like me binging different comedy specials.
Hmm. BoJack Horseman
I
is
was,
bigger than it used to be.
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. BoJack Horseman's like exploded. Are you looking on Netflix? Is that why you said that?
Um, well, I had thought of that before, but I am looking on Netflix now.
Okay, yeah, because I saw that and I was like, BoJack Horseman is now, but I don't know. That's tough. So that's what I'm going to go with for now. Is basically a bunch of comedy specials. If you want to know about comedy specials? I watch them all the time. That is one thing that I'm starting to consider myself an expert on because I really do
Because
like
he's a
stand-up
loser.
comedy. I'm not a loser. I just like to observe comedy. It's funny, and I like different people's styles. I also don't like different people's styles, but you know.
All right, what else? What other questions you got?
What's oh here's a good one. Who is your celebrity crush?
Jason Momoa.
I was gonna say Donald Glover, so you know what? We're both good. I don't blame you. That's a pretty good one. Um,
Mm-hmm. That's my top one by far. I mean, I have several other people that I really love, but Jason Momoa is definitely at the top.
he. I gotta admit, I loved Aquaman so much more than I thought I was going to. The next one is what song do you listen to the most? This is the easiest question in the world for me because there's actually not like I can't be like, well, throughout my life I've gone through different phases. Like, no, there's one that I've definitively, without question, absolute fact, listened to more than any other song because I listen to it every day, and that is
Was it?
Guess.
I don't know if this is right. Is it Head First Slide into Cooperstown?
No, that would be a close one, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not exactly a close second, but it would also be a high one. There isn't
It's not a
really a close
Prince
second.
song, is it?
No, it's Words, Words, Words.
Okay. Oh, yep.
I've listened to that
Ever
song.
since I showed you it.
Yeah, I've listened to that song. Fun fact, Bo Burnham is one of my biggest obsessions, and yeah, Jesse's the one who discovered him first out of the two of us. I found it because of
Mm-hmm.
Jesse. Though, you know, I probably would have found him, like, probably years later. I wish that I had gotten more into him faster because by the time that just started to begin like being completely obsessed. Like I would have called myself like a fan of his other stuff, but I wasn't familiar with it. I have almost all the songs memorized now. By that point, where I first started considering myself like obsessed, a huge fan, was right after the Make Happy tour had ended. Basically a year after it had ended, a little less than a year, which makes me really sad because that is possibly his last. Oh, I just got my movie. Eighth grade.
Oh yeah.
Eighth grade, easily.
Well,
That's not most people. Okay, because it doesn't say it
it's
has to
probably
be.
like it's probably like about the same popularity as BoJack Horseman.
Agreed, but it's
You
still
know,
not most people.
won
So
awards and stuff.
yeah, but eighth grade. If you haven't seen that movie, you're starting to buzz again or crack again. No. Okay, we're all good. Uh, but
Yeah, I'll
eighth
just
grade.
have to find my good mic.
Yeah, he will next week. We were going to have the regular mic this week, but Jesse sucks. No, he couldn't find it, so we're using a different one. The first mic that we ever recorded on. Memories. Um, but yeah, if you haven't seen eighth grade, you need to see it. No matter how old you are, it is
One of the best
essential.
movies of all time.
Yeah, it's essential. Um, what was I talking about? Oh
Song
yeah,
that
but
I
words,
listen
words,
to,
words is
I don't
easily
know.
that song. You can't think of it?
Most of my life, I don't know. I mean, I go through phases of listening to songs. Several Driftless Pony Club songs I've listened to a lot. I listened to "Wow" by Post Malone a lot because,
That's a
um,
more recent one though.
yeah, it is a more recent one.
Try to think of one like you like now and still listen to somewhat often that you really used to listen to before, because that'd probably be the bulk.
It'd probably be Brooklyn,
Really, Brooklyn?
Youngblood Brass Band. Yeah,
Huh, that is interesting.
there's days of several weeks, probably months, where I just like listen to it on repeat.
Yep. That was me with Words, 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 especially too. Uh, Hell of a Ride by Bo Burnham is also one that would be up there as well. Because that song is like Words, Words, Words 2.0. So it is stuffed with way more words and puns and way faster. It is jam-packed, and I memorized that song by
Still not.
listening it on repeat over and over again while reading the lyrics. What were you saying?
It's not as much as words, though.
No, I have not listened to as much, but I listened to that on repeat
It
for
doesn't have as much, like, quite as much stuffed into it as words does it?
It might. It only has two
You know, it's
verses,
a lot, but yeah, it's not quite
but the
as.
two verses are jam packed. I wouldn't say it's as good as Words, 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 but it is probably a little bit more than Words, 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 and way, way faster. It's
Mhm.
very funny though. But okay. So you're guessing on wait, what did you say your guess was? Brooklyn. Okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna be really tough for you. If you were famous, what industry would you like to be famous in?
Music.
See, I knew it'd be very tough. Yeah, Jesse makes a lot of music. If you haven't, you should
I
go
mean,
check out his
ideally,
stuff.
I'd like to be both like a composer for like scores and stuff, and also have like a not pop music career, but like
A solo.
popular solo music
Yeah.
career. Um, but either of those I would take.
Um, I
But
personally think I would go for. I really don't want to be famous.
I was just gonna ask. I was gonna say, would you even want to be famous?
But if I had to pick something, it'd probably be comedy, whether that be like stand up or like YouTube channel, like that type of thing. I could go in between. I might say stand
Still
up
need to write
comedy.
our act.
What?
We still need to write our joint act.
Yeah, I have almost an entire stand-up routine. It's worth of material. I have not written an entire stand-up routine. There's a difference. But I've written down that the amount of material that it would take to make one stand-up routine. But yeah, we've talked about doing one together, which I think would be really different and really fun. So we should do that
I think we should do a comedy album first, though. The
album.
Bacon was good. or like an EP, the food EP.
I will say that while you obviously are far better in music, I am a musical person as well too, but you're far more into that and stuff. I think I'm far better at writing lyrics than you.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay, I was
I
gonna
feel
say.
like I'm okay. I'm okay at comedy writing lyrics.
Oh yeah, I'm
I'm
not saying
okay.
you're bad at
I'm not
all.
great
I'm just saying that I think that I am the better writer out of the two of us. I think that's just my stronger suit is words.
for lyrics. Most definitely. I'm okay.
Oh no. It appears as if we have lost Jesse. What the heck? This is a great first episode. Hi Jesse, are you
Did
there?
you hang up?
No, I didn't hang up. Skype's so weird.
I don't
I'm,
know what
I'm glad
happened.
we fixed it fast, but that was so weird. Um, what were you saying about writing like comedy? I forget what
Um,
you were saying.
like you're definitely better at writing lyrics. I don't know like the dynamic between us two, but like I'm confident in my writing ability in other areas.
Mm-hmm.
But like writing lyrics, that's not my strong suit. Comedy writing lyrics, I feel like I'm better at that than any other lyrics, and I don't feel like I'm bad at that. But you're still probably better than me. But yeah, lyrics in general, I'm not very good at. Are you gonna turn your camera back on?
Oh, I didn't know it was off. Sorry. Uh, but yeah. So yeah, so as Jesse mentioned, we actually do have a couple things written. We have a potato song. We should actually record that whenever I come home for spring break to use that as
Hmm.
intros for stuff for the channel, because that
It's
makes sense.
bacon. Awaken to that nice smell of grease of my piece when I got a nice fat piece.
Did you write a
My
verse in the
bacon.
bacon? Did you write
I did,
yeah,
and
you
it was
said you did write a
good.
verse.
It was a good verse. I need to find it because it's like written down somewhere, and I don't remember all of it.
I think I still have the lyrics to that song. I would not have your verse, but I would have my verses in the chorus.
Yeah,
I
I have
think
my
I still
verse
have that.
somewhere, but
I have it in one of
I
my
was proud of
notebooks.
my verse.
I have
My
several
verse was
notebooks.
very good.
Yeah, I do remember it being good. I just don't remember what it is at all. If you were
But
so
yeah, we
next,
can record the potato song.
yeah, we should definitely do that. Next song. I mean, next. Jeez, this isn't a song. Next question. If you were stranded on an island for eternity, name one book or CD that you would need to have in your possession.
Book
Uh,
or CD?
yeah, let's just say one of each. Book is super easy for me. It's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you say the Bible, you're a nerd. No, I'm kidding.
Um, wait, so is that just the first one or like the trilogy of five? Because I have
Preferably
a
all.
book that is the
Preferably all.
trilogy
That's
of
called
five.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, I believe, is the one.
Yeah,
You just said a trilogy of five. You
that's what
just
it's
realized.
called.
No, it's not. It's not a trilogy of
No, it
five.
is. That's what he called it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the compilation is
Wait, what do you
called
mean? He
Trilogy
died
of
before
Five.
the last one was written. The last one isn't even
No, but
written
he
by him.
called he
Oh, but
called.
he was going
Well,
to write
that's
it,
like
so.
yeah, he called it a trilogy of five.
Okay. That sounds like him. But either way, that book, easily my book. CD, I'm assuming that we can just burn anything onto a CD, so like let's say an album or something. Oh, you know what? Or like a well, I would do Make Happy burned onto a CD. If I couldn't
Hmm.
do that, since that's technically like it's a special. It's been released all on YouTube free, just like what was by him. But if like you wouldn't count that since there technically isn't like an album of it, it's just been released free. Even though it's music and stuff you listen to, even though it has the cool visual effects, I would say then what. But I would really, really want Make Happy, especially if I'm stranded for eternity, because it has some good songs for anxiety and such that would really help.
My book would probably either be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy 2,
Copy,
but
copycat.
other than that, because that would probably be my second option, it'd be The Catcher in the Rye. Um,
Really? Are you gonna kill
mhm.
John Lennon?
No, it doesn't. That didn't make any sense. We talked about that. It doesn't make any
I
sense.
know.
Uh, but it's a good book, and CD. I'd want all of the Driftless Pony Club songs on a CD, but I know that's more than just an album. Um, If I only had one album to listen to for like eternity or on an island, it'd probably be Random Access Memories by Daft Punk.
That would
And
be a
while that's
really
like
good
my
one.
number, because that's my number two and number three, but it would be the most interesting to listen to
Yeah, it
over
has
and
the most
over again.
variation. Though I will say that A/B by Kaleo does have variation, but
Hmm.
not many, if any. I don't think any album has as much variation as Random Access Memories. In fact,
And there's so much to listen to
I've
over and
never
over
thought
again.
about how fitting that name is. Uh, it really
Hmm.
is random, like access memory. It is, yeah. I've never actually considered the name, uh, other than just I identify it with that. Names can be weird like that. But anyways, um, I've considered it a name, not a title, because a title has meaning to what it is. A name necessarily doesn't necessarily have to. But yeah. Uh, Next question. Haha. Which of
How
your
many questions do you have? Just curious.
endless amount.
Okay,
This
because
is
I'll
to figure
probably
out the game.
go in about 20 minutes or so.
Okay, well we will go until then. Um, da, 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 da. I'm like trying to find really good ones though. Da, 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 da.
I have to go because I have to play piano at a church because I just got a job
He
and
has a
it's going to pay
he
lots
has
of money and I'm very happy.
he has a job that like a person who's like graduated from like college and like out actually in the workforce and stuff would actually have at a church, being their musical person.
Hmm.
It's not
It's a,
fair.
basically a part-time job,
And Jesse's a junior in
like
high
a
school.
part-time music director sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. If you could eliminate one thing from your daily schedule, what would it be and why? Like something
I
that you
wouldn't
just
want
can't
to,
stand doing every day.
well, if I eliminate it, because I think my first answer would be cheating and not really, but I would eliminate sleep if I didn't have to sleep then. But I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like a cheating answer.
Oh.
But if I had the opportunity to never have to sleep, because I've heard people ask that question, like people seriously consider it, and they're like, I don't know. But I'm like, I mean, like, I don't understand, because, like, obviously there's no reality where that could happen. But, like, even if you still get tired, if you wouldn't need to sleep, like,
You still
that would be
could.
amazing.
Or well, like you could if you wanted to.
Hmm. Or even, I don't know, even if you couldn't, I wouldn't care.
I don't know. I
Uh,
feel like you'd go insane at a certain point. Like I feel like
Probably.
I
But
don't know.
that'd be
Yeah,
okay.
like that's what I say. Like I like the idea of it, but I feel like like if it was physically possible, that mentally it is not. Like I feel like mentally that actually could
Hmm.
slash would maybe
You know
drive you
what I want to
insane.
try?
What?
So Driftless Pony Club has an album called um, Buckminster, and it has a bunch of references and stuff and lyrics about Richard Buckminster Fuller, and he's done a bunch of crazy things. He did like journal entries, I think every hour, something insane like that for like many years. He's the most documented life ever,
Huh?
self-documented. But
You're cutting out. I don't know why.
how about now?
And now you're back. You said he has the
Uh,
most well documented life.
Full of, yeah, there's like library just like full of his journals, an insane amount of them.
Hmm.
And then another thing he did was like stay awake for 2 hours, sleep for 15 minutes. Stay awake for 2 hours, sleep for 15 minutes.
I've
And there
heard
are
of.
people who have tried that.
Does that work? I feel. I
It
don't know.
can.
I
Do you
think
know who Andrew Huang is?
that sounds familiar, but I do not know
He's
off
a
the top of
music.
my head who he is.
He's a music YouTuber. Apparently, he tried it. And like he doesn't do it all the time now
Hmm.
because obviously that's impossible to keep up with. But I would want to try that.
I've heard of the method that the most efficient way to sleep is 4 hours at a time.
Hmm.
Uh, Maybe we should talk about that. Maybe this could be an interesting thing to discuss next week. Is like different sleep cycles because there's a bunch. What the pros or cons would be. Oh no, you're cracking again. Oh, I think you're back now.
Is this going to be a weekly podcast?
Yeah, I was thinking so.
Okay, good. We should do like sleep schedule changes throughout the week.
Yeah, this entire week we'll do a different sleep schedule each day.
Well, actually, you could probably do that easier than I could.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I
I
mean,
want to.
I kind of do want to. Oh no. Oh no, this is terrible. The one I'm looking at, because I
What?
like looked up a list of different ones. There's so like the first one is consists of a sleeping pattern 5 to 6 hours at night and one nap at midday. That seems not bad at all. It's just like get the minimum amount of sleep and then you get a short nap later.
I just
Then
sleep like 5 to 6 hours.
there's a 3.5 hours sleep of spell of core sleep and then 3 20-minute naps throughout the day, which that is still less sleep than usual. But
I would try that.
no, the next one is the one that I saw that I was like, that's insane. It's 4 30-minute naps during the day. Like 20, every 24 hours. You get 2 hours of sleep total, 30 minutes at a time, only 4 naps a day once
I
you're
mean, I would
adapted.
try that, but I feel like that just wouldn't be possible because obviously, like, it's impossible to just like stay awake forever. I feel like that one would be like almost impossible.
Yeah, apparently it's best for people who don't require much sleep, which that's okay. And
I
those
mean,
with the
I don't require much
DEC2
sleep, but
gene, short sleepers. So apparently people have different sleeping genes. This is interesting.
yeah, I
Oh,
don't
and
know what
then
my
6 to
are
8
like, but I don't
20-minute
sleep deep
naps.
very much. Hmm?
6 to 8 20-minute naps is the Uberman cycle, which is again
That's
only
like what that's
oh,
similar to what Buckminster Fuller did.
wait, I thought it was oh yeah, that sounds right. Okay. Well, that'd be 12 times 15
Yeah.
minutes, which would be 3 hours. This is only 2 hours. But it's still very similar. Those who do not perform activities that are require longer than 3.5 hours is who it's meant for, and those who can follow a rigid schedule. Like I can't make the problem with these and like wanting to try them is that I can't make myself fall asleep.
Yeah, I can most of the time because I'm just kind of tired all the time, no matter what. Like, not even like it's weird.
I
Like, I
can't
just
sleep when I'm tired sometimes, and it's the worst.
I can sleep pretty much all the time. What was like the second or third one you read off? That was like 3.5 hours, and then like one other.
Let's see. It was the so the first one was the monophasic, which sounds pretty normal, like normal sleep, and no, that this is biphasic, is like the normal one with the nap in the day. The second one is a 3.5 hour sleep uh, at once, and then 3 20-minute naps throughout the day.
Huh.
In daytime, so like the pros are that longer waking hours than Uberman. Uh, Naps are brief, only 20 minutes long. Enormous flexibility in napping once adapted, so you can nap during the day or at night.
I was
Uh,
gonna say I could sleep 3 hour, 3.5 hours, like at midnight or something, midnight or one. Like go to
yeah.
bed, wake up at 3:30 or 4:30, take another nap like right before school, like at 6 or something like that. Take a nap like right after school,
Hmm.
like literally probably like at school because I don't come home on the bus. Like I get driven home, so I could literally like sleep in school for like 20 minutes, or right after I get home from like anywhere in between 2 and 3, and then one in the evening.
Hmm. So it's saying that the cons are day tap, daytime napping is still required, which can be hard for some people. It's hard for me to nap when there's light around, and it's hard for me to actually get my window to not be as bright during the day because I don't have actual curtains. I just have like the blinds, which don't block the sun as much. But also minimal sleeping time, 4.5 hours each day. Would you be exhausted? Do you? Should we like try one of these for the next week and like report on how it goes next week?
I want to try this one. I
You
mean,
want to
this
try
one's
this one? The
yeah,
whatchamacallit,
sounds-
the it's called the everyman cycle.
that one sounds really hard, but I'll do it.
The
Or
3.5 hours sleep and 20-minute naps, 3 20-minute naps during the day.
even if I can only stay, even if I only do it, if I can only keep it up for like a day or two, like I'll still try it.
Hmm.
And it'll
Uh,
be actually good that I'm starting it on the weekend because that'll
yeah,
be
that's what I
easier.
was just about to say. Gonna start it tonight because I don't want the first day I start it to be like whenever I have class in the morning the next day. You know what I mean? Like adjust one day at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's
So
let's do that. We're gonna do that. It doesn't say like somehow spread.
Same as me, or are you doing a different one?
I think I want to do that one because I don't know if I can do the other ones. It literally says like, "Oh, it's best
Do like,
suited to people who feel like they can't handle the other ones."
literally, if you want to do like the 5 hour one and then the like 1.5 hour nap during the day, like even that would be okay because I still want to know if like you feel more rested than just like
No, actually, it's not a half-hour nap during the day. It's a 1.5 hour nap during the day.
oh
So it's 5 to 6 hours at once, and then 1.5 hours later. So anywhere from 6.5 to 7.5 hours a day, which is really what you're recommended to get anyways.
you
So
could do that if you wanted and then like see if you feel more rested than like an average sleep cycle, but I feel like that one's not that interesting.
can provide a boost on tiring or sleep deprived days. You know what? I'll try it with the 5 hour. So like sleep 5 hours and then I get 1.5 hours later. Because in all honesty, that is less sleep than I usually get. And I also do need to work on some sleep cycle stuff because I I sleep too much a lot of the time, which makes me just as tired. Because fun fact, if you didn't know that, for like people listening and stuff, sleeping too much can make you extremely tired as well. So I've struggled with that too.
Hold on a second, I need to fix my audio. Can you hear yourself
No,
talk?
no, I cannot hear myself.
You're not echoing?
No, interesting.
Okay, good. Because I
Cool.
my earbuds
They
died
died.
and you're playing out loud, but I'm holding
Cool.
my microphone
Oh,
close enough
that's
to my
good. I was
mouth
gonna say
so it
the
works.
reason that it didn't work earlier is because you didn't have the microphone in. With the microphone close to your mouth, you can't hear the echoing.
Oh yeah, I know. I still wouldn't know if it. I didn't know if
Yeah,
it
if
would
it was
like
still doing
echo
it
a
or
little
not.
bit.
No, but
Yeah, I'll try the 3.5 hour one and then
I'll try the easy one. I might.
three 20-minute naps, right?
Yeah. Wait. Let me double check. I'll send you the link just so you have it. Uh, and we'll report back for next episode. But yeah, so you're going to do. I'm going to do the biphasic cycle, which is five
It just
hours.
popped up on my screen. Whoa.
You're welcome. 5 hours at night, 1.5 hours during the day.
hmm
Uh,
Mine's called the Everyman's
yeah, every man, which is like one word, every man uh,
cycle.
cycle, which is 3.5 hour, uh, which is your main sleeping core, and then three 20-minute naps, and they have to be spread out throughout the day.
hmm I'm writing it down on my famous whiteboard.
Oh yeah, that you use in your videos. There's also the Dimaxion cycle. That's the one that's four 30-minute naps throughout the day, 2 hours of sleep total. How do you do that?
Wait. What is it called? That's
Dimaxion.
that's the one that Richard Buckminster Fuller did because his everything he made was like named with those kind of words. Like it's kind of I forget what it's called. It's a mix of the word dynamic, like maximum. I don't want to get it wrong, but it's a mix of like three words. He made up that word. That's his cycle.
Oh, so apparently it does say that like it requires adaptation time, because that's like for the Dimaxion
hmm
cycle. It says like once adapted, you only require four naps throughout the day, and then basically you have essentially 6 hour waking periods. So even though that would leave like that's actually 5.5 hour of awakeness periods. That's still
Yeah.
about 6 hours. So you have almost the whole day. I don't. It says it's the most difficult cycle to adapt to, though. So I'm
I
curious
wonder if you
how
like
long it would
rigidly did
take.
it, if it would work. I
How
mean, he did
long?
it.
I want, but see, but like, is it the type of thing that you would go like cold turkey into, which I know is
I
not
think
a good analogy, or like you adapt yourself into, like,
I think it'd probably be best to just go into it cold turkey
would
because
that
like
work?
then I mean, like you'd be insanely tired for the first couple of days, but like scientific research and stuff like says you can't catch up on sleep really anyway in terms of like the big picture.
Yeah.
Like if you're sleep deprived, you're sleep deprived. I mean, like if you're really tired and you go to bed for a long time, you wake up feeling better. I mean, unless you oversleep, because obviously there's lots of factors. But like I feel like honestly, like if you did it for like 2 weeks, I bet you could if it works. Because
Uh
obviously,
huh.
like I don't, it can't work for everyone. But like if it's possible for you, I feel like 2 weeks would probably be the period that like you either can do it or you can't.
Okay.
If you could even keep it up for 2 weeks.
let's write little reports. Also, you're cracking again. Write little reports. Whether we don't have to necessarily send them to each other, and it can be like literally just a couple sentences. Try
Yeah,
to
but
do
we'll
it
report back
daily. Yeah, do it.
at
We'll do
least
it
daily.
daily, so that way we have that whenever we go into next week's episode. I'm glad we already have next week's episode planned. We're going to talk about how this goes. So you're doing the everyman cycle, and I am doing the biphasic cycle,
Yeah.
which is essentially going to be just making myself be normal. It's a little different from normal if I do 5 hours, because that's less than what the normal.
Yeah, I was thinking because
Is
it does say 5 to 6, but I think you should do 5
yeah, I'm
hours.
gonna do 5 because 6 is some people's standard. Really, the universal thing is like you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, but it like depends on the person. A lot of people say 7's the minimum. A lot of people say 6 is the minimum. But no matter what, 5 is below the minimum. Even though it's obviously you can survive off of it.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do that with the 1.5 hour nap.
This is exciting.
I know.
We'll
I'm
report back
I'm
next week.
very excited to see how this turns out. So,
I'm a little worried,
yeah.
but excited too. Because if it works, like I'm gonna do this forever.
Yeah, I know. That's
Honestly,
what
the
I'm thinking.
hardest part is finding 3 20-minute nap periods throughout the day.
That's a little hard with mine too. Although, if you think about it, like because of the timing of when you have your short sleep, you could still have a 20-minute nap in the morning, hours later before.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But then it's still. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be fine. My
We'll
waking
see.
periods aren't just gonna be exactly even, which they don't have to be, obviously. All right. So we'll see. Let's plug some stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to
ready?
go first?
Yeah. Watch the Brotato's channel. If you somehow, I mean, well, this is going to be on Nerdy Geek Talk, so if you don't know the Brotato's channel, look at that, because it's pretty cool. It's a fun time, and we're going to be better about uploading our videos. Mainly
Yes.
me being better. But also, check out my SoundCloud. It's Nightwolf Music. Nightwolf
Oh no,
is one
I have my
word.
punishment to deal with this week too, so I'm gonna have the sleep. Although
You-
it'd be very hard if I had your sleep thing and doing 100 push-ups a day for next
You
week.
don't have to do it this week if you don't want to, but if you do, yeah, you
I
can.
think I still will, and I think I'm gonna start
It's up
that
to you.
today because today's Saturday, so that way my last day will be on the day that my video goes up. So
Yeah, because your last day can be Friday.
yeah.
Check out my SoundCloud, Nightwolf Music. I'm not a SoundCloud rapper. I just make music. It's not rap. I promise. I don't even sing in it. But I might soon though. I was working on a song that I might sing on.
I want to sing in your music.
You can.
I actually do. Like I'm not actually
Yeah.
like joking. I actually would like to. We should do that.
Yes.
You can catch me singing in one of our videos though.
Yeah. But Nightwolf Music, I'll probably have it linked somewhere if it gets linked. If it doesn't, if you just go on SoundCloud and search Nightwolf space music, I think it should come up. So yeah, and Heterosapiens Comedy. That's a comedy channel I have with my friend that I think is kind of funny, and we're gonna put more sketches up on it soon. And I think that's everything. I mean, follow me on Twitter at Nightwolf689. Because that's the only thing I use. All right, I think that's
I
everything.
think I just found your. Yeah, okay. I found. If you literally just Google Nightwolf space music, SoundCloud space Nightwolf space music, it comes up. But I'm gonna link that in the description of this stuff. Also, you know what? I'll link the sleeping cycles. If any of you want to try them as well, go for it. And
especially the extreme ones, because I don't have a schedule where I could try really any of the extreme ones.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that we could revisit during the summer. Or
Yes.
even like possible. Well, see, our spring breaks aren't the same time, so that wouldn't work out. But like,
I mean, one of us could do it, but we'll see.
yeah,
My spring break's shorter now, though.
I'd rather do it at the same time because we'd be able to commiserate. But yeah, I think that could be a summer thing. But yeah, so if you do decide to check out one of the sleeping cycles that's different from your norm, you could tweet
Then you
at
can be a
me.
guest on the podcast.
I'm not promising that, but it's possible. You can tweet at me at Eric Crowbar. There's 2 C's. And let me know because I'll be very interested. Also, we may be getting. I might as well just set up a Brotato's Twitter, but that's not potentially up by the time of this episode yet.
Probably at Brotato689.
Do you think?
'Cause I think
do you think
Brotato's will probably
Brotato's
be-
is taken.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah. So
Even if it doesn't pop up when you search it, sometimes they're still taken. But
or we could do at Brotato Brothers. Oh no, well it's definitely taken on Instagram. Yeah, either way, we'll figure it out. And we'll have it across social media, but that won't be for another week or two because, as I said, and as technical difficulties proven this week, we're just starting out. So yeah, let me know there. Also at Aramis Prime on Instagram if Instagram is your thing. I do post there somewhat frequently, a little less frequently recently, but also probably going to be more frequent.
do
So
you do desk bots still
I haven't done
anymore?
despots in a while, and I really need
Yeah.
to. I think I'm going to actually find it. My desk is an absolute mess. I think I'm actually going to clean it up this weekend because I actually finally cleaned up my floor, which has been a monster.
Oh, also, if you do watch Brotato's, the YouTube channel, I found my dry erase markers, so you're gonna see some colors on the whiteboard in the upcoming videos.
Oh, I thought you were just going to tell them not to worry. Like, don't worry, I
Oh,
found
don't
them.
worry
It's
either.
all right.
All right, I
And
gotta
also,
go.
Nerdy Geek Talk Podcast Network. You can check that out. That also, you're probably listening to it on here. Chances are, if you're listening to it on podcast places right now. So, yeah, we'll catch you next week. So, this has been Brotatoes the podcast, episode 1. See ya.
What should the title be of the podcast? Brotatoes.
Brotatoes the podcast, episode 1. What should the title be?
Yes.
Done.